Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I got another product for you. This is the Gearwrench 20-piece both SAE and metric socket set. And it is a 3/8" drive, and part number is 8801A. And I actually just picked this one up recently from a local Napa auto parts store. I'll go through real quick, guys, kind of what's nice about this set, what's unique, why I picked it up, and kind of what it's based on prior, because you might be surprised. Diving in, as you know, it's a set, right? You have your ratchet here, you have your extension, and you have your sockets. I believe SAE is on this side. Correct. And then you have your metric on this side. We'll go through sizes and what's all included here. So this is an older style, so it's going to have a 45-tooth gear mechanism. And we'll pop this open and actually take a look at it, because I'm interested to see how they have this one set up. So for the SAE, you have this gambit here all the way up to 13/16, so they take a step further than 3/4, which I like. And then for the millimeters, they actually start as low as 8mm, 9, which nobody uses, and go all the way to 17, missing number 16. So pretty decent run of sockets, not too bad. And then it's also worth noting too, with Gearwrench, it's always important to at least check to see where it's made, because quality is going to be important when purchasing from Gearwrench. Although their China-made stuff has gotten better over the years, the more recent years, but this set's made in Taiwan. And we'll take a look here too at the sockets. Yeah, these are actually nice roll stamped up top. So 15. Yeah, so it has it on both sides, the stamping for the part number, and then they have all of their knurling, which in this case, this is actually really good, clean knurling. Great broaching, got the reliefs in there. That looks good. Great broaching, reliefs, yeah. Great socket. I mean, this is a good Taiwanese made socket set. We'll take a look at standard here too. So 11/16. There's your part number. Oh, they went with no knurling. I believe in the past they've done dual knurling for SAE. I'll let you guys remind me if I guess I missed it. Let's see if anything else got knurled. No. So SAE has absolutely no knurling on the base. But otherwise, yeah, not too bad. So sockets, great. Let's take a look here. This is the next thing I like about this set is the extension. Knurling on this is pretty decent. I'd say middle of the road. It could be better, but it'll be sufficient enough if you're working on something, so that's not bad. Looks like they've coated the inside there, but yeah, 6". Packaging says 4, but it's really a 6. Now this is what I like, and maybe some of you guys are new to this. I bet a majority of you aren't, but I'm going to just review it real quick. Something that I like about this extension setup is it is a I'm going to call it two-phase wobble. So when you have it in the wobble position, right, you get several degrees of play to be able to get on a fastener if you got to get on it at an awkward angle. You have all that range, which is great. You're going to need that. But on the flip side, the challenge you'll have with that, especially when you're tightening very tight fasteners, is the wobble has to create a relief on the inside there, and that becomes a weak point. I have broken countless of these that they're just wobbles because you have that much less material there, and you will break them if you put a lot of weight on them. But for the most part, they hold up pretty good otherwise. Now, the flip side of that is, if you're going to put a lot of weight on it, you surely shouldn't be in a wobbly position. You want to get as straight as possible. But the second phase is when you push it in even a little bit further, and it drops on that shelf there. That allows you to engage both here, as you see. The downside is that it does protrude into your hole here a little bit more, so if you have a deep bolt, that might be a little bit challenging with this shallow socket. I mean, it's not super shallow, but it's not a deep socket. But that is the beauty of this, is by allowing it to drop onto that shelf, you are now spreading that weight across the whole thing and including this shelf. So your odds of breaking it are less when you really need to bite down on it. Plus, you know, you may not want to be in a wobble. You're all the way out here. You want it to be more affixed that's where this actually works out really well. So I like these dual stage, dual phase, what do you want to call them, wobbles, because they are quite useful, and it's a good idea. So I'm glad that they had it in this setup here. So yeah, the tray's all plastic. It feels like ABS, I think. Nothing too fancy. I don't know if I can flip it over. I thought the socket's falling off. That's all you guys are gonna get out of me. And that's my next gripe is, you know, they have the little plastic clip on here that locks everything in so you can't steal these sockets off. Well, they don't have really good reliefs in here to allow it to clip on. So these pop off pretty darn easy. So I'm playing with a little screw trick here on this one. You put a wood screw through the back side of it, a core screw, and then it has a little bit more retention that way. So I may play with that. You guys may try playing with it too. It does allow it to squeeze inside there a little bit more to hold the socket in place, because let's face it, this is a good set to throw in the back of your car if you want to be able to travel with, or your toolbox, but you don't want it to shake loose. You don't want to lose all your sockets. So there's got to be a better way, Gearwrench. Please figure it out, because this has the potential to actually be a good go set, but find a way to make them hold. All right, now onto the ratchet. This is a pretty decent ratchet. I mean, it's not your 72 tooth, 90 tooth, 120, 2000 teeth. Right, this is an older design. I like that they rolled stamped it good. The handle's good teardrop kind of form out the backside. The length is pretty decent too. It's not super short like some of them. There is a little bit of a casting flaw in there. It does use the screws to the face into the back plate, which I actually like. There are Phillips. Maybe Torx would be better. I don't know. The selector has a very positive feel to it. And it has a very large tooth sound to it. So all in all, the selector switch looks good. It is all metal. There's no plastics in here. And yeah, it's a pretty decent design. Now, why did I grab this setup? Well, one, I liked it all. It was actually a good price. There was a good closeout price on this. If you want to buy it right now on Amazon, I believe it's about $35 to $39 based on pricing that they got going on right now. What actually caught my attention while I was looking at it to purchase it is it looks very reminiscent of this ratchet. Now, this ratchet is actually a Craftsman. This is a Craftsman from, I want to say, early 2000s, early mid-2000s. It's from their Evolve line that they had. It was kind of like their lower tier, and it was made in Taiwan, right? It wasn't like their USA made stuff. And at the time, I was, money was tight, and I needed a ratchet that I could use working on my car, so I picked up this one. And the handle has since come off. It was a garbage handle, and I actually use this now. This is actually my go-to ratchet for when I go to the junkyard, because I don't care if I lose it. But I've actually kind of grown to like this ratchet because I've put a lot of weight on this, and it's held up. It just keeps on ticking. It actually got a little bit smoother too. So great ratchet. But if you look at them side by side, these are almost identical. This one has a smoother curvature. This Gearwrench is a little bit sharper all the way around on the contours. But when you look at the plate, even where they mark it on the bottom, the only thing that they changed was the handle here. Instead of being that rubber overmolded handle that was on the Craftsman, they just went with a solid metal handle, which looks great on it. So, great setup. I like it. It's been good for me for at least several decades now. Let's see what it looks like inside it, because I've never tore it apart. Hang tight. We'll take a quick look. Alright, here's our final reveal. Does have a little bit of grease on there. That's nice. And there is your pawl setup. Oh, yeah, this is an old style. You have a total of 3 teeth that engage any given time. But they are coarse teeth, so they'll bite in pretty good. And there's just a lot of material in here. No real hollow points. So let's take a look at it versus the older Craftsman. Those almost look exactly the same. So there you have it, guys. A design that was used by craftsmen 20 years ago. 10, 20 years ago, I think. It's hard to place a time on that one for me. But Gearwrench has gone ahead and kept that same design and used it and put it in this set. And it's a bargain set. It's a great set because you get a full gambit of sizes. Right? You can run up to 17 mils. I wish it was 19 mils on this one, but it is what it is. You can still use the 3/4, I guess. But yeah, if it's anything like what this one has been, it's gone through a good harsh life and it's held up fine. So I'd love to hear your guys' comments. Do you have a go-to set that you like to throw in your tool bag as you go work in the yard, or just as a go bag for your vehicle, or what have you? Anyways, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts, and we'll talk to you soon.